Yeah. Yeah.
Dear reader, allow me to introduce you to my book. Though it might at first appear like many books you've come across, it is far from ordinary. You may, therefore, have some misunderstandings about its nature. The story that awaits you has not been fully told. In fact, its conclusion is not yet known. It is in that way that my book is special. It is in that way that you, without you, there. Chapter 1. Normal isn't what it used to be. This is a story nestled in a shallow valley, far from the town square, across the. His name is Luca Van Horn, and like you, dear reader, was Luca's cloak. He possessed many fine qualities, but subtlety was not one of them. The tears swelling in his friend's eyes, and the flower.
Beacon Pines.
Wonderful! I had a good feeling about you from the... That charm is a very special thing. Very special indeed. Keep hold of it for now. Its purpose will reveal itself soon enough. Rollo looked to the side,
Έλα Γιάκο, καλησπέρα.
Dear reader, forgive me for this interlude. Remember that charm you found in the dandelion patch? There are more of those special charms to discover throughout Beacon Pines. They've been known to reveal themselves to those who are willing.
Έλα τσάκα, γορίνα. Γεια σου Γιάννη.
Some of them can be found in this very house. Since Gran had moved in, the house was more covered in flowery fabric. One of his father's old stethoscopes. Luca had spent countless hours listening to anything and everything with it. Not for years, though.
Ωραία. Τα ability μου μέχρι στιγμής είναι φτέρνισμα και άραγμα. Μου αρέσουν.
Gran had already lit the fire. She kept a warm house, as if by grandmotherly obligation. Just some dusty knickknacks. An array of prepared meals dolls crowded the refrigerator, each labeled with a day of the week. A pair of dull scissors, a broken can opener, a mostly empty bottle of glue, and some loose string. The only piece of furniture Gran had brought when she moved in. Gran's bed was undisturbed. Luca didn't mind that she had a habit of falling asleep in front of the fireplace. It meant that he could read late into the night. Luca tossed on his favorite old sweater. Even though it was the first day of summer, a chill still hung.
Ability chill. Καλά πάμε.
Gran's moving in meant that Luca was somewhat annoyed by the situation. Luca paused at his parents' bed. He just wasn't ready to go in. Gran had commandeered the upstairs. Some things need shelter from a young boy's mistress. This is quite exciting. I am now certain that you are the one I've been waiting for all these years. You'll recall I was a bit coy regarding the use of charm. Excuse me, I tend to have a flair for... You are about to encounter your first turning point. There are certain times in this tale when everything hinges on a step forth, dear reader. A sturdy old wheelbarrow. Young Luca would spend hours hiding in the bushes, waiting for a chance. She always enjoyed humoring him. A beginner's guide to gardening laid open on the bench.
Να ρε, τη βρήκα τη γιαγιά.
The less Gran knew, the better for everyone involved. We were just gonna go chill for the day. The best lies are built on... Easy. Impressive. You've managed to navigate your first turning point without too much of a mess. That is the power of charm. A single word can change. I think it's time to introduce you. The Chronicle is a record of the decisions you've made. You can see the turning point, which has been revealed. At any time, you can use the Chronicle to go back and invoke different charms. Luckily for us, this is the one and only turning point where the charms won't dramatically alter fate. It's the perfect opportunity. We were just gonna go ponder for the day. This was Luca's chance to sell. Nailed it. For a town that saw few visitors, the welcome was perhaps more grand. Chapter 2. Welcome to Beacon Path. For many years, this valley had been It wasn't until Sharper Valentine built over the next 30 years, the town had grown and prospered until the foul harvest. In the 6 years since, everyone was simply trying to get by. William Kerr was the CEO of Parent. He had become a fixture around town over the past few. After the failing of Valentine fertilizer, the town was hungry to welcome a new source of employment. Mayor Augustus Valentine was not. Flustered, Gus instinct. Whenever Luca saw his stats, it reminded him of the days they'd pack up a couple of sandwiches and fish until sundown.
Ναι, λίγα κάτι τέτοιο κάνω.
Luca opened the tackle box and picked the perfect. Luca tied a shoestring to the. What fish could resist a nice shoestring? Luca tied a shoe. What fish could resist?
Wow, έπιασα μια μπότα.
Luca tied a shoe. What fish could resist a nice shoestring?
Έπιασα και δεύτερη μπότα. Α, όχι, την ίδια μπότα έπιασα.
Luca gently baited a good for skimming the surface.
Όποιος ένα παπάκι.
The boys had a good thing as long as they kept old Jeff happy. They had an endless source of precious. After Luca's father had, Rollo became obsessed with them building their own Hank atomics. It was some time before Luca realized. On certain nights, when the cloud, Rollo thinks it's alien. He always thinks. Luca looked up at the satellite dish. Rollo nearly killed himself putting that up. While it didn't turn the radio in, it did at least boost the signal enough to. Luca's winter coat, with the cold holding out. Luca tied a small magnet fishing with the law. Mr. Sinclair continued, a tactic he often used. He pulled a pen from the pocket of his sweater vest and began to frantically jot something down on a clipboard.
ελεύθερους διαλόγους.
Pete stopped scribbling and glanced up.
Με πολλούς έχει να μιλήσω.
Luca could see the morning regulars nestled in their booths.
Αλλά κολλείς.
Miss Hatch could often be too absorbed in a book to be distracted. Holden Wilder ran the local paper of the Beacon. Oh, right. Rendezvous with Roxy. This is an important turning point. The first time where your charms will change the course of... And currently, we only have one suitable... Have no fear, we can always return later using the chronicle. Well, now I'm just rambling. Where were we?
Ναι, Κυριάκο ακριβώς. Τουμ τυριρίμ.
Rollo froze as Roxy took a step toward him, cracking. Luca knew he had one chance to save his friend. In the past, he found the best way to deal with an enraged Roxy was to be a little chill. bit much. Jeff's hardware closed down. The effects of the foul harvest when there are no crops in the field. Tractor. A promise Gran regretted the second it. The phone booth was brand new. It didn't see much. Luca peeked up at it. Appeared to be deserted. After the foul harvest destroyed their wealth and reputation, the Valentines shuttered off their estate. The Valentine mansion loomed, both figuratively and literally. The path led into. The fence thrummed with a gentle electric. Luca often asked himself what role, so that he could roll out. As sparks flew from the fence, the light atop that section shut off. 2 bulbs remained. One more to go. The fence's buzzing gave. Every kid in town knew the old long abandoned. The warehouse once served as the now it stood only as a reminder. The dormant building showed strange signs. There was only one way to find. The hose emitted a subtle. It was actively draining some kind of liquid. Luca thought he heard faint sounds coming from the others. He pressed his ear against the cold. The sound of footsteps grew.
Ξεκλείδωσα το shit. Εντάξει, το πιο χρήσιμο ability. Oh shit.
The heavy steel door knocked Luca disoriented. He looked up to see it imposing. It lunged toward him. Luca watched his fingernails leave trails in the dirt as the hand slowly dragged him back through the door. This is a story about change. It was far from the sort of change Luke, but change is, after all, the end. I'd probably should have warned you about this. There are many paths that our story can take. Most will end in tragedy. But don't let that... We will find the ending that this story does. From here on out, a charm will have a check mark when it's been used to its full potential at a given turning point. Now, let's try some.
Okay.
In the past, he found the best way to deal with an enraged Roxy was to be a little shit.
Okay.
Solomon Valentine, current ward of and future successor to the Valentine, huffed as he brushed off his... Solomon trifled a gesture toward the approaching. As the glowing windows of the old warehouse came into view, The boy sat petrified. Rollo felt around at the... He snapped off a tag from just within a small zipper. Rollo held the badge up to a faint shaft of light. Lucas sat in the dark, tracking the sound of 1, 2, 15, 16, 35. Screw it, that's long enough. Luca cared nothing. No sign of Rollo. No time to haul ass. Luca clambered from the dumpster, stumbling. He was up like a shot and running. Speaking pines flew by, blurred by the tear. He wouldn't remember getting home and throwing his front door open, storming up. Chapter 3, Finding a Friend. The next morning, it was quiet. Only the sound of silverware and chewing and... Gran's brow. She let out a long sigh.
Οκ, παιδιά, κάπου εδώ το αφήνω γιατί δεν είμαι τώρα σε φάση, δεν παλεύετε. Ελπίζω να συνεχίζετε. Δεν έχει save, δεν ξέρω αν έχει save. Θα το συνεχίσω άλλη στιγμή. Λοιπόν, χαιρετάω παιδάκια, bye.